morning.
Good morning.
It's nice to meet you. My name is Themar, and I'm going to be your nutrition counselor for today. How can I address you?
Hi, my name is Jessica.
Okay, nice to meet you. So, today I'm going to ask you a series of questions about your eating patterns. Have you met with a nutrition counselor before?
No, I have not.
Okay, as a peer nutrition educator, I'm going to provide some nutrition education on one of these three topics: eating on a budget, reading a nutrition label, or eating a balanced diet. Do any of these three sound something you'd like to talk about?
Yeah, eating on a budget sounds good.
Okay. Sounds great. So just a little housekeeping. I want you to know that you can stop at any time if you feel uncomfortable during our meeting. My peer is going to be observing me, and I'm doing about what I'm doing, and Dr. George will only view this information, and I will need some consent. Okay, great. Are you ready to begin? Okay. So, I'm going to start by asking you a few questions to give me a better idea of the challenges and support that you face on a daily basis. So, my first question is, what grade are you at SF State?
I am a senior.
Okay. And do you live on or off campus?
Off campus.
And since you live off campus, how long is your commute?
About 20 minutes.
All right. And is that by driving or public transit?
Be for walking.
Walking. All right. So now the questions are going to be a little bit more focused on diet. How often do you buy meals and or snacks out?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. All right. And how often do you buy only meals on a typical weekend, so Sunday or Saturday?
Pretty rarely. I usually bring my own meals to work.
Really? All right. And lastly, how often do you buy snacks out?
Probably say sometimes.
Sometimes. All right. So I'm going to take a moment and total your response. So now that we're going to be doing your 24-hour diet recall, and I'll be talking about foods, beverages, snacks, and nibbles that you had yesterday from the time that you woke up until the time you went to sleep. So we're going to follow a 3-pass system, which means that first I'm going to ask you to share a brief list of everything that you consumed yesterday, and then we're going to go over it one more time to add in the detail, and then lastly I'll review it with you to make sure we didn't miss anything. While you're providing details, I want you to use common objects or measuring cups, like we have right there on display, to help with portion sizes and amounts so we can get the right idea. All right, does that sound okay? Okay, great. So let us start. So what was the first meal that you consumed yesterday morning?
It would be breakfast. I had 2 hash browns
Okay.
and 2 slices of bread. Maybe like half of a grilled chicken drumstick and about a cup of cauliflower.
All right. And around what time was this meal consumed?
Say probably about 11.
11 a.m. And where were you when you were eating this meal?
I was at my boyfriend's place.
Okay. All right, great. So what was the next meal following that?
And the next meal following that was kind of like I guess, before dinner.
Okay.
I had probably about like 5 pieces of sushi. and a bowl of udon noodles.
Okay.
And that's probably about 4:30 at home.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Are you feeling okay so far?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. So, what was the next thing that you consumed after that meal at 4:30?
Yeah, and then after that, I had, let's see, I had a chicken sandwich from McDonald's and probably half of a small fries. And then I also had one honeydew boba. And that was probably 10 o'clock. And I'd say like on the go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was it. Yeah.
Okay, great. So, we completed the first pass. So, I think we can now go over the second pass, which is kind of going to be more in depth about details and portions and things like that. So, starting with the first meal at 11 a.m., about how big do you think the hash browns were in relation to maybe this slice of bread or these cup measurements? About how much do you think that it was consumed?
I would say the two hash browns together probably equal the size of this bread.
Okay. All right, and were the bread slices about the standard bread slice?
Yeah, I would say probably the two together probably equal that size.
The two pieces of bread were the size?
Yeah, and since it wasn't like a regular loaf, it was more like one of those long loaf ones that I had
Oh,
cut.
okay, okay, sounds great. All right, makes sense. And for the half chicken drumstick, we actually have a chicken model. So do you think the meat that was consumed was about that size or a little bit less?
Probably about half of it.
All right. And the cup of cauliflower, you believe, is about this much?
Yeah, about 1 cup. Sounds good.
Or maybe we have the size of the baseball to compare it to.
I think 1 cup probably.
1 cup?
Yeah.
All right, great. So that was for the first meal. So for the second, the sushi pieces, how much rice do you think was in about each piece or about in total for the 5 pieces, maybe compared to these cups?
Yeah. I would say maybe in total of all 5 pieces, maybe like 1/4 of a cup.
Okay. All right. And for the udon noodles, do you think about 1 cup or maybe compared to the baseball, how much that was?
Yeah. Probably about a cup.
Okay. All right, good to know. And, all right, so for 10 p.m., the McChicken, do you think that was about the, for the chicken, I guess, was it about the size of this chicken model right here?
Yeah, that looks about right.
Okay. And for the bread slices in the sandwich, were they about the size of this slice of bread or different shape, or what
Yeah.
kind of bread did it come on?
I would say it's more like the size of that.
This?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. And there was 2 slices of this hockey puck size?
Correct.
All right, and for the honeydew boba, about how many, what was in that drink? Do you mind maybe expanding on that a little?
I guess it's more like a mix of probably water and some kind of powder.
Okay,
and ice, and then just regular boba.
okay,
Probably drink about a cup size.
okay,
This size.
so that size. And for the boba, do you know about how much there was in the drink?
Yeah, I would say probably half of this, so maybe 1/8 of a cup.
An eighth of a cup. All right, great. And for the small fries, we have a model here of green beans that might be similar, or we can just compare it to a baseball size or whatever you think is the most accurate.
Yeah, I think the green bean is probably the most accurate.
Like
for how
one
much-
serving of the green beans?
Yeah.
Right. All right, great. So I'll go over it with you now just to see if we missed any details. So around 11 a.m., you consume 2 hash browns, which equal about the size of this bread slice, and 2 slices of bread, which also equal about the size of this bread slice, and half of a chicken drumstick, which would be about half of this chicken breast, and a cup of cauliflower, which you indicated is about this, a cup. So later on at 4:30, 5 sushi pieces, which would equal about 1/4 cup of rice, and a bowl of udon noodles, which came out to be also about a cup. And later on, a McChicken with about 2 slices of bread, the hockey puck size, and oh, we actually forgot the chicken size. Did we go over that? Oh no, we didn't. It's right here. And about the size of this chicken breast, and 1/8 of a cup of boba, and about 1 standard cup of the actual drink.
Okay.
Does that sound okay? Okay, great. So, let me see. Would you say that this was a usual day for you in terms of food and drink?
I'll say it's not a usual day.
Not a usual day. Okay. All right. Is there any reason for it not being a usual day, or it was just,
It's just
no,
random.
it was just a
Random
random
day,
day?
yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, thank you very much for sharing your dietary intake with me. As a review, the nutrition education topic that you were interested in today was eating on a budget. Is that still something that you'd be interested in?
Yes.
Okay, great. So my mentor has reviewed the information I'm going to share with you related to your selected topic. What I would like for us to do now is think about the topic you selected and the information you shared. I would like us to work together to create a SMART goal for you at the level of change that you indicate. SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. The most successful lifestyle changes occur when you make the goal SMART and you understand your level of motivation or readiness to complete this goal. So to get a better idea of how ready you are to make a change, we will use this scale right here. So on the scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not ready and 10 being ready, where would you say you are?
I would say about 8.
8? Okay, great. So, since you have indicated that you are an 8, you are on the ready side of making a change. So thank you again for answering these questions about your diet and also about your readiness. From your response, it appears that you are in a stage of readiness. So what do you know about the topic already? Is there anything that you kind of have an idea about eating on a budget?
I guess more of just like looking for coupons, but that's kind of it.
Okay. Have you ever explored that area of knowledge, like looking for coupons, or is that kind of just, that just stands alone?
Kind of just stands alone, yeah.
Okay. All right, great. So can I take a moment to provide a little nutrition education about this topic?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so in terms of eating on a budget, we have this handout. I will give you that to look at as I read. So Having a budget planner is very helpful. Planning out all meals and snacks for the week helps a lot in terms of not really straying from budget. Because sometimes when we know what we're doing, we tend to stick to it. Plan meals based on foods you already have in your kitchen. So a lot of people sometimes think that, oh, in order to plan, I need to get everything that I'm writing down, but sometimes exploring what already exists is a good way to control how much is being spent. Using the same ingredients for multiple meals. For example, carrots can be used in a stir fry, as a snack, or part of a soup. So a lot of food items can be used in many different ways. They're not just reserved for one way of cooking or one type of meal. Budget shopper, don't stray from the list. That kind of goes hand in hand with kind of already looking at what you have in your kitchen. And if there's something you feel like you do need, then we believe that having a list is a really good way of keeping yourself on track. And not straying from it would really help you stick to your budget so that you can stick to your plan. So another good idea is choosing the least expensive version of your foods by comparing unit prices. So there are a lot of brands out that vary in prices, often for the same thing, and often for the same quality. So these pictures right here are an example. Looking at these cheese options, the $2.89 one is overall cheaper, but per ounce it's actually more expensive. The $4.59 bag is actually less expensive per ounce, 28.7 cents per ounce versus 36.1 cents per ounce. So sometimes food labels, as you can see, are a little bit tricky, although I think this one was kind of to get people to think that it's cheaper because the initial price was written in big letters as cheaper, and a lot of people would go for that. But in reality, if you break it down per unit, there's a pretty big difference. So that can help you stick to your budget, definitely. Another option is compare prices between frozen, fresh, or canned fruits and vegetables. Frozen options are good because you can keep it longer, it prevents waste. And if you buy canned, be sure to rinse them off with water first to kind of be rid of anything that could be added to them. Also, canned options that are listed as low sodium is a good option. So, do you think that any of these techniques that I have listed so far would be something that you would be able to start doing?
Yeah, I think being able to kind of look at the per ounce would definitely be something to do.
Great. Is there a specific food item that you think that would be helpful for you, or when you're shopping, or something that you think you can apply that to?
Yeah, probably most likely for something like cheese.
Okay.
Would be
great.
easier, or even like with fruits and vegetables.
Great. Okay. So one of the next points is budget chef. So meal prep for the week. So that's, I know it really goes hand in hand with the planning out your meals, but it takes it a step further. Instead of just having it written down or having it thought out, if you actually make the meals, then you'll really have it set what you plan on eating the entire week, and it'll help you kind of have an idea, and you don't have to put thought into it like, oh, I need to run because I forgot to make lunch and I need to go out and buy it. And not only will it help you stick to your budget, but it helps you stick to your plan. So preparing your food over the weekend or on a less hectic day, just having it all done so that you can heat things up when you're ready to eat it, makes things a lot easier for you. Also, cooking in large batches like brown rice, whole wheat pasta, or beans can be added to different meals throughout the week. So if you don't want to make everything in that one specific meal, you can kind of make things that you can add as you go. So you don't have to make pasta with sauce prepared in your Tupperware if that's not really something you're into. You can just have the pasta ready and prepare it however you want. So does that sound like something that you would want to employ?
Yeah, that sounds like something I definitely want to try.
Okay, great. So portion size is also something that's pretty important. Portion sizing not only helps make your food last longer, but it helps maintain a healthy weight. If you serve yourself a smaller size, then you can decide if you're still hungry for more, instead of serving yourself too much and then having to throw things out or wasting it. Um, Another important thing is ditch the clean plate club. So a lot of people kind of have this understanding that you should clean your plate, and that's not always the case. Sometimes that causes overeating or even wasting food if you put more than you can handle. So do any of these things sound like options that you would be able to use, or do you think it would be helpful for your change?
Yeah, I definitely think being able to kind of plan everything out or meal prepping would definitely help sticking to a certain plan that I want to follow.
Okay, great. So, how confident are you that you can meet the SMART goal? Oh, okay, we didn't say the SMART goal. So from going off of here and going off of the information that I provided, is there a SMART goal that you would like to put together to try to incorporate in your daily life?
Yeah, I guess I would say I probably want to try to follow the recommendations of eating like whole grains and eating enough fruits and vegetables per day and for every meal.
Okay. All right, that sounds great. Do you think that anything that I listed was helpful? Do you think there are any advantages to possibly, for example, cooking things in large batches or meal prepping?
Yeah, I think that would definitely help me stick to my plan better.
Okay.
That way I don't kind of just go off of things that end up buying maybe snacks or fast food.
Okay. All right. So would you say that your SMART goal would be cooking in large batches or meal prepping to avoid buying fast food snacks and or meals?
Yes.
Okay. All right, sounds great. So now that we've written it down, why don't you read or rephrase what you heard we just planned for you?
Yeah, so I would go ahead and plan eating whole grains and fruits and vegetables better by kind of meal prepping for the week and planning out what I'm going to eat for each meal.
Okay, sounds great. So thank you very much for participating. It was a pleasure meeting you. Your goal sounds definitely like something that is attainable and timely, and it was a pleasure talking to you. And from our SMART goal planning, you indicated that you plan on cooking in large batches as to avoid fast food snacks and meals and incorporate more whole grains and fruits and vegetables into your diet. Does that sound correct?
Yes.
Okay, great. So one last thing, how will you know if you've met this goal?
I guess it would kind of be if I am meal prepping every week and
Okay.
actually eating those meals and sticking to that.
Okay. Okay, great. Your idea sounds like a great one. I'm very impressed by it. Is there anything else that I can help you with?
I think that's all.
Okay, great. Have a wonderful day, and please contact me if you have any additional questions or if you need help maintaining the goal.
Thank you.
Thank you.